Hello, this is a video I just had the idea to do just a few minutes ago. It's called There's Three Kinds of People in the World. Now you can do a whole variety of these kinds of videos, and I love hearing kinds of them. You know, you can be like, oh, well, there's two kinds of people in the world, the good people and the bad people, you know. But like what I want to talk about right now is there's three kinds of people in the world. Now I originally got the idea to do this from, I was flipping through the channels a few years back, like a decade or more ago, and there was some lady like analyzing high school, and she was like, there's three kinds of high school students. There's the leader, the follower, and the avant-garde. And I thought about that today, and I was like, well, yeah, those are the three kinds of people in the world in general. You'd have the leader, the follower, and then the avant-garde. So the follower would be like the most amounts of people, the common people, the ones that most of the people in the world are, say 95% of the people in the world would be the follower. And then you'd have the leaders who feed off of the followers and lead the followers. And then you have the avant-garde, who are like the catalysts and the changers and the artists, you know. So I think most people come to this world, the follower types, come to this world, live in this world, because it's like this, the planet Earth, the world we live in, is a place where a whole bunch of people go who are of like mind. If you can believe in the whole multiverse idea, you know, that there's an infinite variety of different parallel Earths, and you know, each with a different a general mindset, mass consciousness of a people, and then also, you know, different planets, different levels of planets, where each level has a different mindset. You know, like if you become enlightened, like the Buddha says, you don't go out there enlightened by yourself. You go to a place where everybody's enlightened. You know, you go to another higher dimensional planet somewhere. but basically, this world here is for those followers, the people, the 95% of the people. And then you'd have the leaders, who I guess you could say are the old souls or something, or maybe just people who are fortunate enough to be in a position, a socioeconomic position, to be in a leadership position. But they're basically of the same mindset as the follower. You know, they're basically, you know, Terrans, they're Earthlings, they're members of this world. And then you would have like the catalyst people, who come here, who are wanderers. You call them wayshowers. They come from, you know, they could live in a higher dimension or in a more utopian planet, but they come here because they like to travel and they like to teach. And that is actually what life is all about, in the intergalactic world out there. You know, aliens don't sit around twiddling their thumbs. They travel. That's what they do. You know, when you have a really high GDP and energy is free and you don't have to work, you know, you're going to get bored eventually with just like playing football games or whatever. What aliens do for fun is they travel around the universe, exploring different new worlds and mindsets, and then explaining to them and teaching them, and by teaching them they learn more about the universe in general and themselves. I mean, that's what God is. God is this being of, this live being of the universe that is continuously expanding and exploring new possibilities. So there's always going to be catalyst type people who come down here. You know, Jesus and Buddha were that, but also like normal catalyst type people. So in the past, you have the three different kinds of people. So who were they in the past? Like let's label them. Okay, so say in the time of Jesus Christ, like I would say in the 1st and 2nd centuries, the Christians are the avant-garde, the catalyst, wayshower, you know, wanderer, the avant-garde types, who were here like, let's change the way things are. We have one God for everybody. That was weird, my card filled up even though it said it had 260 megabytes. I guess it takes up more space than the video camera does it on a computer or on YouTube. Okay, so yeah, so the Christians of the 1st and 2nd century were the catalyst type, the avant-garde, who were saying, you know, we have one God, you know, let's forget about praying to this God or that God or this God, you know, whatever. And then the followers would have been, you know, like the citizens, the Jews and stuff, and then the leaders would have been the, well, you know, the rich people who, you know, and the emperors and all that stuff. And then in the Middle Ages, you have, I'd say the avant-garde types would have been like the Illuminati and the Masons and the witches and warlocks and stuff, and the alchemists who were still doing their thing, although they had to do it more secretively because by then I think the Christians, basically, you know, the people who were worshiping Jupiter and Athena and you know, Apollo and all these guys, they basically changed and turned into the Christians. Although I think they did become, you know, gradually, the general mass consciousness is gradually becoming more and more enlightened. All of the whole censorship and, you know, killing people just because they believe differently from you, like in Rome, it continued, and only, you know, Christianity became more and more popular, so then the Romans took the Christianity and then made it, but kept their whole control ways. So the catalyst type people, the open-minded people with all the ideas about reincarnation and deeper meanings of things, and not being overly dogmatic and judgmental and all this, turned into the you know, Masons or whatever of the Middle Ages. And then the leaders would have been the Pope and the deacons and bishops and stuff, and then the follower people would have just been the normal Christians who believe basically what all the church leaders tell them, you know, about hell and demons and devils and death of your soul and all this stuff. And then you go into the 19th century, the avant-garde turned into like the spiritists, and then, you know, the Beats, and then the hippies, and right now the New Agers. So right now you have the New Agers, I think, are the avant-garde, as this lady put it, people who are kind of still thinking, still open-minded, and have the expansive consciousness of the entire, looking at the entire big picture, and believe basically in the good parts of all the world religions, believing in aliens and in the eternal existence of your soul, and, you know, everybody goes to heaven, and God and all this stuff, and having actually a vision of the future. And then the normal people are like the fundamentalist Christians and the atheists, who just, I think fundamentalist Christians and atheists are very similar because they have limited ideas. You tell them something, you refer them to a certain, you know, alien teacher or you know, this or that, and they just have different reasons why that's not true. And then you go, well, if you believe that that's not true, what do you believe is true? And they're like, they can't paint a picture, and atheists can't paint a picture. I mean, that's the whole religion of atheism, does not paint a picture of anything. It's just nothing exists. Fundamentalist Christians are very similar to that. They just believe in some heaven that exists for all of eternity, but they can't describe what it's like at all. They wouldn't describe to you. And they also believe in hell for all of eternity for some people, but they can't describe that to you. That's limited. Limited consciousness is somebody who cannot describe anything, so then you have to describe it for them, you know? It's like, what's hell? Is it like, you know, I mean, I'll describe it right now. Is it a place where there's boiling boiling bubbles of fire, like you're in the center of the world, center of the earth, and it's like being stuck in a coffin with nails being stuck into your body over and over again, and the deafening cacophony of screaming wails and sounds of farting and rotting flesh. Is that what hell is all about? You know, and like, you know, instead of a sky, you have like, you know, smokes swirling around, and, you know, big monsters with horns coming out of their head. I mean, I just described hell more than any Christian ever would, because they can't, little minds can't describe it. Oh shit, I'm out of time. Okay, so anyways, 3 different kinds of people, and then the leaders these days just do it just because they can keep their power and keep their money and all that stuff and tell people what to do, whatever, but I think they're the same. Okay, I'm out of time.